Ladies and gentlemen, the American German Bulldog Nation, welcome to the Eric Deters Show. As always, we're sponsored by Deters Consulting, Parks Yoga, and check us out on all of our platforms. Well, the lead story today is it's Juneteenth, federal holiday, Freedom Day. This day in history. In 1865, the message through a general finally reached Galveston, Texas, that the slaves were free. 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation, which, by the way, I checked it out because I forgot when it was. The Emancipation Proclamation actually came down on January 1st, 1863. So these folks didn't even know about the Emancipation Proclamation until this day in 1865. It became known as Juneteenth, and it has caught fire, so to speak, for a federal holiday, and it is now a federal holiday. So happy Juneteenth to all of you. All right, James Comer says he's got more witnesses that he plans on calling and subpoenaing. Devin Archer, they're in talks. But you know what? The thought occurred to me over the weekend. It's this. Why doesn't James Comer start subpoenaing Biden family members? Why not subpoena Hunter Biden? Why not subpoena his ex-wife? Why not subpoena these Bidens who got checks and money from these ill-gotten gains from Romania and China and Ukraine? Why not? We'll see what happens. Illegal aliens are apparently costing us billions and billions of unpaid medical bills. Who ends up paying for that? The American taxpayer. This is truly, truly, truly another example of how they do not give a damn about the taxpayer. You know, there's a great story called The Golden Goose. And you kill the golden goose, you kill it all. The American taxpayer and America is the golden goose. And they are trying like hell to kill us. And if you don't think for a minute that that can't happen, well, you got something else. We are $33 trillion in debt and counting. The apocalypse, apparently it's pretty good business these days. More and more people are thinking that, hey, they need to be prepared. And can you blame them? I can't blame them. Although, you know what? I'm not going to go to a bunker in South Dakota. I'll bunker down right here in northern Kentucky and take my chances. London Roberts, who is the, former lover, brief girlfriend, who fathered a little girl named Navy. Good old Hunter was in court Friday doing a deposition talking about his finances. What is really bizarre about all this is we know that Navy is his daughter, cute little girl. Heck, this is probably one of the cutest women that Hunter Biden ever made out with. Joe Biden still refuses to accept Navy as his granddaughter. Pretty sad stuff. Shooting in Illinois at a Juneteenth celebration. Lots of people injured, others killed. It never ends. Plus, overnight in Chicago, more shootings. Texas Rangers had a no pride night. They were the only team, major league team, that didn't succumb to it, and they're getting kudos for it. By the way, did you see LA Dodger Stadium pregame this past Friday night when the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence were honored before the game? Place was empty. Harvard poll shows Trump way up on his Republican counterparts as well as Joe Biden. By the way, an ABC poll showed Biden still up on him. You can take that with a grain of salt. Tim Scott went after Barack Obama. Barack Obama acts like he owns the black philosophy about voters and everything. Barack Obama didn't do anything to improve racial relations. He wanted race war. That's what he gave us. He didn't do anything for blacks in this country. He never went to the hood one time when he was the president of this country. The guy is a failed presidency, failed all around. Tim Scott pointed it all out. Education, on and on and on. Blinken, he shows up in China to meet his counterpart. G's probably not going to meet with him. It's a big joke. Blinken going to China doesn't improve anything relative to China. Bill Simmons, this is a podcaster. He got once fired by ESPN. He's a very outspoken guy, but now he's an executive at Spotify, and he is got his own podcast. He says that Harry and Meghan are nothing but effing grifters. Spotify has discontinued their relationship because of the failure of the Meghan Markle Spotify. Apparently, she might now ink some kind of deal with Dior. Like, why? Meghan Markle and Harry have, what do they have to say about anything that means anything? Absolutely nothing. RFK Jr. says he's worried about his life. Can't blame him. He is 100% convinced that the CIA killed his uncle. By the way, I believe that as well. I hope RFK Jr. stays alive. He was on Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan is advocating that RFK Jr. debates somebody who's pro-vax and let him have it for charity. Creepy Joe strikes again at an event with Ava Longoria. He says, I was 40, she was 17. What the hell? The guys, by the way, the crowd did not respond. And United Health says that because of there's more and more procedures, healthcare bills are going to continue to rise. No kidding. By the way, we recently had a situation dealing with an insurance company. I mean, you cannot believe, and I know you can't believe because you deal with it. Do you believe what you think you got good health insurance and then it doesn't cover anything? Nothing gets approved. You can't get an MRI approved. I mean, just unbelievable. They make the rules where they can't lose. The only people that lose, us. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Coming up next, Eric Deters with yours truly in local news. Ladies and gentlemen, the American German Bulldog Nation, welcome to the Eric Deters Local News Show, sponsored by Deters Consulting, Parks Yoga. Check us out on all of our platforms. And folks, lots of news to cover. Top story, June 20th, the Boone County School Board is going to hold a special meeting at 7:30 p.m. I encourage you to go. It's going to be at the same place they hold all their meetings, out in Florence. You know what? June 15th, they sent out a survey to parents on what parents thought about this chip card that they wanted to approve, pass, implement. And no word of what that survey is. We'll see what happens on June 20th, 7:30. Remember, Boone County parents, they are wanting to have a card with a chip in it. They can track your kids on the bus. They can track your kids whether or not they go to the library, track your kids at lunch, and they deny that they're going to track your kids at home. You know what? If they got a chip, they can track you anywhere. In law crime, a 16-year-old was shot and killed in South Fairmont last evening, and also a 34-year-old was shot and killed in Winton Hills. Never ends. Staffing shortages at the Campbell County Juvenile Detention Center for Ladies has caused the inmates to be moved to other facilities. Don't have enough deputies to take care of everybody. So they're having to do that. In local news, there's a debate going on in Taylor Mill, Kentucky, near my hometown, of course. Of course, Taylor Mill is kind of my hometown. It's where my grandfather, my father all lived when they were younger. Bottom line is, there's a debate whether or not to remodel or tear down and rebuild a new firehouse. I can tell you right now, based upon the looks of the place and how long it's been, I say build a new firehouse if the tax dollars are there. Mark Getz is the owner of Edgewood Electric. He's a very good man, nice guy, and he's gotten recently marred in a mess involving Boone Steel and another company that got started that Mark was an investor in. About 5 or 6 individuals have been indicted, all former employees of Boone Steel. And the bottom line is, it's hit the news, and I just want to go on the record of defending Mark Getz. I believe Mark Getz is completely innocent on this. I've talked to Mark Getz. He says he's innocent. Mark Getz is a successful businessman at Edgewood Electric. He has absolutely no motivation whatsoever to be tied in to some stealing like $30,000 of steel and other supplies from another place. Makes no sense at all. Bottom line is that, you can't indict a ham sandwich, and that includes Mark Getz. All right, our biased media. It never ends. You can't make this up. I wanted to use as an example yesterday's Sunday paper in the Inquirer. Forum. You ready for this? A witch hunt. If you read the indictment, you'll agree it's not. Now, they also have Trump remains innocent until another guest opinion. But it's clearly anti-Trump. They do it on and on and on. This was Thursday's newspaper. Front headline, Trump order likely to be tested. About no contact order. Goes on and on and on, our liberal media. Zoo levy. There's a recommendation from a Hamilton County review board to recommend a zoo levy. Don't we love our zoo? Wait times at the CVG airport in Greater Cincinnati are the fifth shortest in the country. I guess we should never complain. The Ensweiler Institute's getting $3.5 million from Kenton County to help with the trades. I tell you right now, this program is incredible. I got it somewhere here, but it helps the construction trades, trains people in the construction trades, and they need them. Well, Cincinnati is joining some other cities like L.A. Universal income has come to the city of Cincinnati for some residents. Pretty amazing, isn't it? Your woke city of Cincinnati at work. You know, it's amazing here in northern Kentucky, if you live in the state of Kentucky, and we're like a suburb of Cincinnati, is our two big cities, Louisville, Cincinnati. Both woke, both ran by Democrats, both have crime problems, both have all kinds of problems. You think that is a coincidence? Hell no. In Kentucky is one of the top 10 stressed out states. Doesn't shock me. I'm stressed out, aren't you? Trump says all these individuals that didn't vote to censor and fine ships should be primaried. I'll do your bidding for you, Mr. President. Federal court dismissed the challenge to Kentucky's abortion ban. It's a victory for Daniel Cameron, the Attorney General, and all those in the legislature that pushed this abortion law. Can't make this up. Good old Bevan's getting divorced. Now he needs a job. So he's got a job now at a medical pharmaceutical company. He's right. He's entitled to have a job, right? And in sports, the Cincinnati Reds come into town on a 8-game winning streak. I've watched the last 8 games. The Reds are an exciting baseball team. They play the Rockies 4 at home, then the Braves, which is the best team in the National League. If they get any of the games in, it's going to be raining a lot. We'll see whether or not they do. And Bob Huggins gets arrested for DUI. Next thing you know, he resigns. No shocker there. My guess is the comments that he made that got him in trouble on 700 WLW meant a short list. Then he goes out and gets a DUI. He's now resigned. New chapter for Bob Huggins. Hate to see it happen. I like hugs. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Coming up next, Jamie Spinley in World News. I wonder if he's got the guts to talk about that Willy Whacker article I gave him and that woman who woke up alive in a coffin. Well, now she's dead. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Stick around for what Spin has to say.
Hello, thanks for tuning in. This is the World News. Deadly attacks by Islamic militants over the weekend has left 40 people dead whilst pupils were singing gospels in Uganda, Africa. The Ecuadorian woman who woke up in a coffin after being there for 5 hours died after 7 days in hospital. Voters in Switzerland have backed a new climate bill designed to cut fossil fuel use and reach net zero emissions by 2050. Many beaches in the UK are putting up red flags and signs, no swimming, no surfing, from Scarborough to Whitstable, as pollution levels soar and businesses forced to close due to sewage discharge. And in sports, Spain beat Croatia in the Nations League final on penalties yesterday. Verstappen wins the Canadian Grand Prix. Stay tuned for Eric Deters' sports report. From me, until tomorrow, cheerio.
Ladies and gentlemen, the American Jury and Bulldog Nation, welcome to Eric Deters Sports Show. Yours truly. And my sidekick, my ordinary sidekick, Nick Batista, as you can see, he's not here. Filling in for him is the one and only Hall of Fame. What Hall of Fame are you in?
Northern Kentucky Sports Hall of Fame.
Northern Kentucky Sports Hall of Fame for golf. Nick Batista, I've been teasing him, Steve, that he's worried that he might be the next Wally Pipp. Let's get right with it.
What about the Reds?
The Reds. What about the Reds? They're calling them America's team. I got to tell you a funny story. All right. So the Reds start out the season sucking. They're 5-17. Nobody's watching them. Nobody's going to the games. Blah, 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 blah. So my cousin Josh starts giving me a hard time that I'm snickering about the Reds on this show. He goes, I'm telling you, Eric, this young team is going to do something. They're special. You got to pay attention to them. So you know what I do? I watch every game of the Reds. They go to the Dodgers. They lose the first game. I've watched every Reds game. I swear to you, I've watched every Reds game, and they're doing unbelievable.
37 and 35. I'd have bet they'd have lost 100 games. They might win 90.
And they've not won a series in St. Louis forever. They beat the Dodgers 2 out of 3. They sweep the Astros. It's an unbelievable team.
They're a half game back of Milwaukee. Those guys are so scared. They're giving out free mullet haircuts.
And you know what? This is funny. I put it on here. Ricky Wild Thing cartridge. Did you see this guy pitch? He pitched the other night. By the way, he's already been sit down. But this guy threw balls like the Wild Thing in Major League. I mean, it was hysterical. I mean, the ball's going way up here, way up there. It was all over the place. Even the commentator had to make a comment. Did you see it?
Charlie Sheen was one of a kind. This guy's right there with him.
And Aroldis Chapman wants to come back and play for the Reds. By the way, I'm really worried about this. What is your opinion, Steve Cunningham? Should the Reds let Joey Votto play if he's able or not? I say keep Joey Votto on the bench. We're winning without him. What do you say?
Let's turn him into a manager.
There you go. A batting instructor. Let him be a batting instructor.
He was great and fast.
Speaking of the Reds, do you believe the Reds have moved the game time June 30th from 7:10 to 5:10 to accommodate Taylor Swift till there's not parking mess? Can you name one song Taylor Swift sings?
My boyfriend screwed me and I can't stand him. I don't know. Something like that, but I guess we'll get to hear that.
I mean, I can't name. Wait a minute. I give my girlfriend. I can't name a Taylor Swift song. Who are all these people that go nuts for Taylor Swift? And even the Reds are accommodating them.
She's very talented, but the Reds are accommodating her. That's something else. Go ahead.
Floyd Mayweather is funny. Floyd Mayweather will fight anybody that he thinks can make money, including John Gotti III. I mean, he's now fighting mobsters for money. Would you fight a mobster for money? I'd fight a mobster for money.
Doesn't seem like a good idea. If you win, you might get bagged.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Got to acknowledge the death of Norma Hunt. Norma Hunt was the Kansas City Chiefs' first lady. She's attended every Super Bowl since the beginning.
Unbelievable.
Now, have you ever checked out her daughter, Gracie Hunt?
No.
You might want to do that on the way home.
All right.
NBA Finals. Since our last show, the Denver Nuggets, they win in 4, 5. They win in 5. They can't win in 4. They win in 5. It was, man, they just beat the hell out of Miami Heat. It wasn't even a game. Jokic is unbelievable.
He is unbelievable. Murray from UK.
UK guy.
And then you had Bam Adebayo and Jimmy Butler for the Heat. You know, Bam, a UK guy as well.
But Jimmy Butler, the last game he threw the ball way too much.
No, I understand. But
I was actually rooting for the Heat, but congratulations. Now, by the way, the Nuggets parade, Jokic's wife got hurt. It was a crazy parade.
Got to be careful.
NHL Finals, Vegas Golden Knights, they also win in 5. How would you like to play professional sports in Vegas, Steve Cunningham?
Only in America, right? We've got a desert area team winning a winter sport.
Beating the Florida Panthers.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Men college baseball. Are you watching any of the men's college baseball? I'm watching all of it, and I'm loving every bit of it. I'm glad to see Texas Christian knocked out Virginia because of the ACC. I root for the SEC schools, and I don't like the ACC schools. So I think it's going to be exciting. I hope Florida wins it all. Or LSU, an SEC team.
Go SEC. I got 3 kids. I haven't watched it. That's all you.
Jody Ball, this is like Jordy Ball. She was the ace Oklahoma pitcher. They just won the World Series in softball. She's transferring to Nebraska, her hometown. Isn't that crazy?
Whatever makes you happy.
Will they repeat? FC Cincinnati, I got nothing to say about FC Cincinnati to you except they keep tying.
Good for them.
All right. Brady nails a drone. Did you hear about this? He hits everything from a yacht. He throws a football and takes out a drone.
Good for him. It shouldn't have been there.
I agree with you. There's probably spying on him.
Guy wants some privacy.
He wants some privacy. Tori Bowie, sad story. A big track star dies giving birth. That's not supposed to happen anymore, does it?
Supposedly it happens in the African American culture a little bit more.
That's sad. Zeke. Nobody wants him. Nobody wants my man Zeke.
He's going to end up back
He's
in
going to
Dallas,
come back to
right?
Dallas.
At a discount?
He's going to, with a big discount. He'll probably play for like lunch money.
He'll be okay.
But it said, Kansas City Royals, they honored the Chiefs when the Reds were there. I thought that was salt in the wound.
What else is new? They gave out a co-branded towel. Good for them.
All-star voting. Do you think any Reds will make it? I say they have a chance in hell of making it.
Who cares?
Who cares? Jordan Burks is a big shot UK basketball player. They finally got one. John Calipari actually got a big recruit to come to UK. It's shocking.
He's from Kissimmee.
Kissimmee. All right. Michael Jordan bought a 1,817 horsepower Hennessy Venom F5 Roadster. What can you do with that much horsepower? Will he ever use that much horsepower on the interstate?
He probably will. Now, you've once been, what, 140?
140 is the top speed I've ever been on the interstate.
He'll beat that.
I think he will.
Yeah.
Have you ever driven a car like that, Josh Wentz?
No, hell no.
Unbelievable. Saquon Barkley is still talking the New York Giants. Nobody wants him either. He may not even sign with the Giants.
Injury prone.
Now, this is down your alley. The United States Senate has opened up investigation the PGA LIV merger. What do you think, if anything?
Well, with all that money floating around, what else is new? I mean,
You know what it is? The Senators just want some of it.
they want a piece of the action.
The Senators want some of it. You know what? They're going to say, come on, Saudis, give us some of our money and we'll let go. All right, Nick Batista's not here to talk about the Browns logo.
Hidden images.
But I think the logo sucks.
Looks like the old Budweiser. Remember
What do you think, Josh?
It's terrible.
I think it's a terrible logo.
Awful.
In fact, they got the ugliest uniforms in sports, the brown uniforms. Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless have broken up on Undisputed. Do you care?
Does anybody?
Chad Johnson's daughter's going to run track at UK. We're happy for her. Trevor Bauer has more sexual allegations against him. Do you believe them? I say no. I think these are false.
I don't know the guy. Maybe.
NFL player, you ready for this? They haven't named him yet. Apparently has lost $8 million on gambling.
Big surprise. They're throwing it in your face everywhere. It's on commercials.
Yeah, what was it today watching the Reds game? They played this
MGM probably.
360 Sports over and over and over again about gambling. Do you gamble on sports?
I don't, because I'm a married man. I have in the past.
All right. Diane Stutz, sad story, was an Arkansas football recruit. ATV crash. Sad, sad, sad. Stephon Diggs has now reported to the Buffalo Bills. Do you care?
He's great. Good for him. I guess he got over whatever he needed to get over.
Lamar is throwing the football around to OBJ. They think they're like the happiest newlywed couple in football. Do you think this is going to work?
It'll last 12 hours.
All right. Mike Leach has been accepted in the Texas Tech Hall of Fame. Whoopee-wee. Now, this is another. We got all kinds of shit. Deion Sanders, the new Colorado football coach, might lose his foot. He's back in the hospital. They've already amputated toes. He might lose. Isn't that unbelievable? Deion Sanders, the greatest cornerback of all time, all that speed, might lose his foot. Life gets us all, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
All right. Speaking of Michael Jordan again, the sneakers, the tennis shoes that he wore during his I've Got the Flu game just sold for $1.38 million.
Somebody's got too much money out there. What's interesting about this, do you realize he didn't have the flu? He had food poisoning. He had ordered pizza, and they call it the flu game. He didn't have the flu.
Was it food poisoning that was caused by the enemy? Was it intentional or not?
It's possible.
All right. Conor McGregor's been accused of sexual assault by taking a chick into the bathroom. There's video footage of the girl holding his hand going into the bathroom with his guards. I say this is consensual sex followed by let's get some money. What do you say?
Looks that way to me.
All right. Denver Victory Parade. I already talked about that. Ray Lewis III, more sad story. Ray Lewis III, the son of the Ray Lewis, died, was found deceased between the bed and the wall. That looks like a drug overdose.
Accidental, they said.
Ugh. Stephen A. Smith, the great sports commentator, wants to be on Wheel of Fortune. He wants to replace Pat Sajak. Would you hire Stephen A. Smith to replace Pat Sajak? I would not.
I don't think I could do that either.
All right. Beckham's Miami deal. I just read about this, so I'm going to put it in the program. You can't make this up. When he came to play in the United States, Steve Cunningham, he said, I want to be able to purchase a team for $25 million. So they let him purchase the Miami team for $25 million, which has just signed Messi to come play. That franchise is now worth $600 million.
We got into the wrong rap.
Beckham is the Michael Jordan of soccer.
Yeah, good for
He
him.
knows how to make money. All right, U.S. Open's going on right now. I've been watching it today. Who do you think, can we get an update here? Who do you think, Steve Cunningham, is going to pull? I think Clark is going to win this sucker. He seems to be pulling away.
I'd be very happy for Wyndham Clark if he pulls this off. I think it's Rory's tournament. I think he's going to pull it off down the stretch after he stood up so strongly for the PGA Tour.
I was thinking the
Then
same
they kind
thing,
of
too.
turned on him for the almighty dollar, and I don't know.
I'm actually rooting for Roy McIlroy myself.
Northern Ireland.
He's 10 under. Wyndham Clark is at 11 under. Fowler's falling down at -8. Scheffler's -7. Tommy Fleetwood did a 63 today.
And he missed a short putt for 62 on the last, so it's out there. But that back nine is very difficult.
It looks like Clark and McIlroy are going to do it.
Some interesting facts on this. This is also the 50-year anniversary of Johnny Miller's 63 at Oakmont. And the USGA, they're very much like the Bar Association, if you will. They don't care to be embarrassed. The following year, 1974, was the massacre at Winged Foot, where +7 won the event. Hale Irwin pulled that off. So I look for next year at Pinehurst to be a massacre. We'll see.
They don't like to see them. This is at the L.A. Country Club.
Correct.
I wonder how much money you got to pay to get into the L.A. Country Club. All right, Orioles' Gunnar Henderson did something that was historic. Dozen hits, multiple steals, home run cycle. No other player in Major League history has done all that over a 5-span game. By the way, Ohtani from California is doing some crazy stuff. All right, Joe Burrow says he will listen to any kind of country music. Any kind of music but country music. Do you care? I don't care.
He spent some time at Ohio State. They might have got to him a little bit, but he'll be all right.
Could be. All right, Phillies, JT Realmuto, another crazy thing going on. Hit an inside the park homer in the postseason, hit for a cycle. Only player in Major League history to accomplish all three of these feats, Lou Gehrig.
They lost the game.
Lou Gehrig, this might be kind of prophecy coming up. Lou Gehrig's name coming up, Nick. Wally Pipp. Nick. I tried to explain to Nick that you're the backup for both me and him to try to ease the pain that he's going through right now watching this show. More Michael Jordan. They value the Charlotte Hornets at, Morant. John Morant.
Yeah.
John Morant's been suspended 25 games by the NBA. Too much, too little. This was the second time he's been waving around a gun. What would they do the third time he waves around a gun?
He's talented. He's 23 years old. He went to Murray State. None of this makes any sense. Hopefully he'll grow up.
I hope so, too. Anyway, they value the Charlotte Hornets at $3 billion, and Michael Jordan owns a majority share, so half of them, which is $1.5 billion. And he's selling, Michael Jordan's worth a couple $1 billion besides being the greatest basketball player. What a life.
Up to $2.6 billion now, they estimate, and he made less than $100 million as a player.
It's unbelievable. NBA draft is Thursday. Are you going to watch it? Victor Wembanyama is going to go to San Antonio. It's the only draft pick that matters. Then San Antonio is going to win a bunch of championships.
He's 7'4" from France. Good luck to him.
All right. 613 diamonds are in the Chiefs Super Bowl rings, Steve Cunningham. 613. How small, you know what they say, how small must these diamonds be to get 613 of them in a damn ring?
Only in America. We live in excess, right?
Good point. All right, the story was going to be that Bob Huggins got arrested for DUI. Now the story is Bob Huggins got a DUI and is now resigned as West Virginia coach. I think his statement on 700 WLW radio, coupled with the DUI, was too much. And here he is. So it's sad because I love Huggins.
Yeah, I mean, he's got some skeletons like all of us, but hopefully he'll enjoy his life now. I don't know.
Bert Halter's been named the United States soccer coach. I don't care to you.
No.
All right. Greg Norman has been sued over a wild party. Allegedly, this girl is saying that she was molested by other girls at the Norman home, and she was plied by alcohol from Mrs. Norman. Have you ever been invited to a party at the Normans?
No, that'd be pretty cool.
Brewer Mullet Night. They had a mullet night. I don't know if you got in free, but they apparently gave you a free mullet. Like they had a barbers lined up to cut your mullet. Have you ever had a mullet, Steve Cunningham?
Never did you?
No, I never did. I don't like the mullet look.
All right.
Would you get a mullet to go to a Reds baseball game for free?
No.
Me neither. All right, Premier Lacrosse. You know why I put Premier Lacrosse on here? Why? Why in the hell is there such a thing as professional lacrosse?
Somebody likes it.
Jeez, oh Pete. MMA fights, nothing big to report about. Now, this is really cool. You know how NASCAR is so American, Steve Cunningham?
True.
They did not have a race on Father's Day.
Good for them.
By the way, happy Father's Day to all you fathers out there.
I saw Amazon out there tossing deliveries around. I couldn't believe it.
William Carlson's speech. Did you see his speech? He is a forward for the Las Vegas Golden Knights.
Dropped an F-bomb.
Drunkard hell, shirts off. He's out there saying, "We beat the shit out of them," meaning Arizona. He dropped it. He was funnier. His teammates were like, "Oh, please stop, please stop." But he kept going and going and going. All-time epic NHL speech. Last but not least, the Tour de France cheating. A bunch of bikers were caught holding on to cars going up the hill at the Tour de France. I think to myself, do they not think that the guy in the car is not going to tell on them?
Do you remember Back to the Future when Michael J. Fox was hitching rides?
That's right.
That's what it reminded me of. They were watching Back to the Future.
That's right. They were right. Do you have anything else that you'd like to add on this sports show?
Hope everybody had a great Father's Day. Thanks for having me, Eric. It was fun.
We covered 53 topics in under 20 minutes.
Sounds great.
Thanks for
Fishing
being on.
as always.
Hey, Nick, get your ass back here next week. This is the Bulldog with his new sidekick, Steve Cunningham. I hope all of you have a great sports week. Happy Father's Day.